Hello my beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. For those that are new, my name is Nelly. Today's topic is more related to your in-laws that are not happy that you are entering their family, or maybe just for certain reason, like they don't like you. Sometimes it's just for their own selfish reasons which they will not explain to you. You know, the Bible says in Genesis 2, when a man leaves his father and mother, he will be cleaving with the wife. So basically, when he cleaves with you, you are becoming one. Sometimes these mothers-in-laws cannot really understand that part of the Bible, don't want to let go of their children, and they don't understand that now they're married. Some just want to control their sons, even their daughters as well. I don't know why it's always the mothers-in-laws and the sisters-in-laws. You hardly hear the father-in-law having these kind of issues. You know, today's girls are eventually going to be wives tomorrow. The way you treat your children today matters. Tomorrow they are going to become wives. You need to understand that you eventually lose them. So if you don't want to eventually lose them, you need to accept their decisions, the decisions that they make. You don't have to interfere with decisions that they make. Maybe you can guide them towards the decisions, but if they have made up their minds, if they have made up their decisions that they want to marry the certain person, don't interfere. This is very common in the African cultures where there is no healthy boundaries, and this affects your marriage in the future. Mothers don't want to let go of their children, especially when it comes to sons. In the long run, you'll owe her and they will own you. She'll become so manipulative by reminding you that she carried you for 9 months. Don't corrupt the situation. At the end of the day, you need to set boundaries. She will invade your personal space that you and your wife are building. So you need to stand your ground and give her that tough love and let them know where you stand. If you don't do this in the beginning, then it will affect your marriage. Sometimes as a woman, your mother will also pretend like they're accepting the man that you want to marry. Behind your back, maybe they dislike him for their own selfish reasons and motives as well. Instead of telling you why they don't like him, they will throw curses saying that you'll never get to marry him. Remember, the power of the tongue speaks. So sometimes if your in-laws hate you, and you can clearly see that they hate you, you can either be weak and let go of the relationship. Maybe you can just take it to God in prayers. Sometimes God will show you the relationship that you're entering to. And you know exactly what family that you're entering to. So you need to fight that in prayers. You can choose to stay, but in the long run, if your mother-in-law is wicked and she clearly hates you, then you'll have challenges in this marriage. So sometimes God will show you the relationship and its plan. If you think they're going to change, they hardly change unless God is involved in this. Many marriages have challenges because of their in-laws. They don't want to let go of their children. They feel like when there is a daughter-in-law that is being introduced in their family, they feel like they are taking over their space. As a daughter-in-law, you cannot replace a mother, especially when it comes to these parents that feel entitled to their sons. And they feel like their sons will stop giving them all their attention that they used to get. They feel very intimidated, and you begin to recognize that two-faced attitude towards you. No matter how much you try, their classic behavior won't change their attitude towards you. And the way they feel about you, with their petty behavior around you. You'll think like she's the one married to your husband because of her poisonous behavior, which is a very common sign that she dislikes you. She'll go out of her way in finding faults in everything that you do. So don't take it personal because she's trying to get her son's attention as she plays the victim here. Don't let it get into you. Instead of lashing out in anger, just be patient with her. Just understand where she's coming from. Don't participate in her behavior because that's what she wants you to do. Some of these mothers-in-laws, they will treat you the way they were treated in their own families. Maybe that's the only thing that they know. They think it's the way they should treat a daughter-in-law. So don't take it personal. So you need to set boundaries for your family from the beginning. Set those rules. Maybe she will come into her senses because At the end of the day, she doesn't want to lose a son or a new daughter-in-law, grandchildren as well. Maybe when you set these boundaries, she may want to listen, unless she's a tough nut to crack. So sometimes mother-in-laws are the source of the problems in marriages. A lot of marriages today are struggling because of in-laws. I know you love your family, but you need to set boundaries. Have a conversation with your spouse. Like, how long are they going to be staying for? When are they leaving? Because sometimes mothers-in-laws will come and visit their sons and they will stay for a very long time, and this affects the marriage. At least when you know how long they're visiting, you'll be able to bear it up until the time they leave. Some mothers-in-laws don't even mention that they're coming. They just come without informing their sons. And it becomes a problem in the marriage. It's like you don't want them to come, but maybe they've come in the wrong time. And when they do eventually come, they want to take over the marriage. Suddenly you find them deciding on meals. And they don't realize that they are guests. As much as he's your son, doesn't give you the right to make the decisions on what needs to be cooked. Unless your daughter-in-law has got no issues with that. You are a guest, and guests don't take over other people's kitchens and start deciding on their menu. So leave that to your daughter-in-law to do that. It's her kitchen and her house after all. Respect that. A healthy relationship generates a healthy energy. When you have in-laws that have narcissist traits, they end up forcing you to do things that you don't want to do because of their narcissist traits. Because she's your mother-in-law, you'd want to respect her, but at the same time, you need to discuss this with your husband if the situation is unbearable for you. Some sons get caught up between the wife and the mother, and they don't know what to do. They're caught in between those two people that they love most. So if that's your mother, you need to speak to your mother. At the end of the day, it's your marriage and it's your home, so they should respect that. One of you has to be the bigger person here. And what you need to do as a wife is be there to support him so that she doesn't do those emotional blackmail on your husband. Make sure she realizes that you are there together as a team. Because some mothers are very good in emotional blackmail. Let him lead the conversation. It may be difficult at times, because at the end of the day, she might just go back home and tell the whole family how nasty you were. And she may end up blaming you because she feels entitled. It's her son's place after all. And not seeing your point of view. Sometimes even the other family members will begin to have issues with you because they are hearing one side of the story. You will also discover that they have certain insulting comments about you. Don't confront them because this will create tension that you don't need, especially for your marriage. It puts your husband in a very uncomfortable situation as well. Some mothers too behave the same way with regards to their daughters. Not because they hate the son-in-law with this regard, it's for their own selfish reasons. Let go of their children and stop controlling them in their own matrimonial home. Stop sabotaging their marriages. Let them have their own space. You had your marriage as well. When you are a mother, don't sabotage good things. Let your children marry who they want to marry and don't interfere. Let your children know that you're coming. You don't have to keep visiting them all the time. Call first and find out if it's okay for you to come. And stay there. When they want you to come and visit, they will call you and ask you to come and visit. Let your daughters enjoy their own space without you interfering in their marriage. Let them be. A lot of mothers are very good in pulling those emotional strings. So don't start pulling those emotional strings if they tell you that they're not available or that they won't be home when you want to visit them, and start dominating them like a chess game. As a daughter-in-law, don't make those emotional strings fool you. Be clear and be kind when it comes to such in-laws. No matter how much they manipulate you, stand your ground. Otherwise, you're going to have a difficult, challenging marriage. Thanks for watching. If this is content that you like, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and see you in the next video. God bless you.